Hi, the topic for this tutorial is variables. So let's start off with the problem first. Let's pretend I have a friend named Sam and it's his birthday. I want to build a web page to say Happy Birthday Sam. So I could simply code Happy B-Day Sam. Terrific. Now what if I wanted to build another web page that said Happy Birthday to my friend Sarah? In this case, I could just copy this code, paste it into a new web page because the content is almost identical. There's only one thing that's different. Super. Now, what if I wanted to create a web page for all of my friends? I would have to build 4 web pages. Beyond that, what if I wanted to build a web page that said Happy Birthday to anybody whose birthday it was, the way that the social media websites do? I couldn't possibly build a web page for everybody. So how do we handle that? The answer, of course, is through the use of variables. Now the good news is you're already familiar with variables. If you remember back to high school math class, let x equal the width of the box, let y equal the height of the box. So x and y are variables that represent unknown values. Or if you think about the formula, pay equals hours times rate. Each one of these words represents a variable, an unknown value. But it is also a formula, so we could figure out what the pay is if we know what the hours and the rate are. So, if the hours were 10 and the rate was 5, our formula would give us our pay. Now the power of variables and using them in our code through formulas is that if these rates change, we don't have to change our formula at all. It will automatically update for us. So that's the power of using variables in our programming language. Now going back to our birthday problem, we can use a variable here. I'm going to use JavaScript and say var my friend equals Sam. And the statement with a semicolon. Now, in our statement here, if we get rid of this, we can use our new variable, my friend. So, in this case, our friend is Sam, but now we have the flexibility built into our formula of using a variable for an unknown value. So we can create one web page and have it handle anybody who shows up to the page. That's the power of using variables in your code. Now, there is something about variables that's important to understand. And that is that when you declare a variable, in this case in JavaScript, var my friend, the program will create a storage space dedicated to the value that goes with that. It's easier to think about it as creating a box, as a very popular metaphor. So when you declare the variable, the program will create a box to store the value in. And it'll use the name of your variable as the label for that box. Variable my friend. So when that's created, we're going to store the value inside of it. In this case, it's a string of text Sam. Now, later on in our code, when we refer to the variable by the name, it goes to the box with that name and then brings back the value that's inside of it. So our sentence becomes Happy B-Day, in this case Sam. But again, the power in using variables is that the value can change. It can be for everybody who goes to the page, or if it happens to change during someone's use on the site. So having the flexibility in your formulas is what's so powerful about using variables in your programming.